You can't just be doing these tactics to try and win.
Yeah.
So it's
and
got to be.
And then he forgets his own. He goes,
It's got to be Point of Sands, Little Cayman.
No, it can't, because we're
Well
both
done.
Grand Cayman.
Yeah, so you've lost Grand
No,
Cayman
you
wings.
can only.
Competition where you two are travelling with your
No,
partners.
It is a
but
battle.
What I'm
My
saying,
wife.
It is a battle.
but what I'm saying is right. Sometimes you go to Airbnb
Well,
and
I
you
travel
find
with
the
my
key.
partner as well.
Yeah. Anyway.
Oh, she's entered the battle.
Anyway, so you find the. Welcome to our Cayman Blueprint. Here today I have Blake
Hello.
and also Ellie.
Hello.
And what's the topic today, Ellie? Let's tell everyone.
Today is the Battle of the Island.
We need like a
Battle of the
let's get
Islands.
ready to rumble in the
Do it
background.
again, Ellie. Oh no, we can't tap the table because otherwise it takes about 5 minutes for the springs to stop. So, she's right. Battle of the Islands, as Ellie's always correct.
Thank you.
Today we're going to have a brief discussion about the locations that we think are the better locations for like the beaches or the restaurants or a mixture of everything.
It's our
really.
own experiences.
Yeah,
Our
our own
18
experiences.
years going to the Cayman Islands, visiting each of the 3 islands, and out of all the different topics and experiences, what do we think
Yeah.
was the best for us?
And
No one else,
Anwar's probably going to
just
say
for us.
neutral. I like everything.
Anwar
I
just,
do.
Anwar
I-
just wants to get to the food topic.
I've most probably been there more than anyone. And I have. Anyway, so I've actually been there more than anyone. And I find all 3 locations,
Can
all
we
3
fact
islands
check this,
are
please?
stunning.
Yeah.
What did you say?
Can we fact check this, please?
Okay, yeah.
Since we all travel together.
Right, let's not get that. It's
Right,
not going to be a
let's-
battle of
let's-
who's been there. It's a
Let's-
battle of the islands, not a battle of who's been there more
Phoenix,
than anyone.
let's move on to the first one.
Right, let's go Phoenix.
So, arrivals and airports, for me, undoubtedly, and I'll never forget my first time going to Little Cayman. I mean, look, you fly to airports all around the world and you go through the same process, check-in, luggage, security, everything else. Little Cayman, that little taxi plane lands on the runway and you literally wait for them to just get your bag and put it on your shoulder. No, do you know what's funny? They put the bag on the little trolley like it's a
the trolley doesn't
full
move.
and then they go 3 meters and go, right, you can take your bag off the trolley.
It is very convenient flying into Little Cayman.
It's great, yeah.
But it's like the movies you see, isn't it? Where you see the little plane land on.
It's
Yeah.
like standing
It
at a
is
bus
like
stop.
the movies.
Yeah,
It's
it
like
is
standing
like
at a
that
bus
bus
stop
stop.
and then you see the plane coming. There's the bus.
Yeah.
It's
yeah,
brilliant.
especially when you're going from like Cayman Brac to Little Cayman. Because
Yeah.
it's only 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It's like you're up and you're down.
And the captain gets off, he has a little chat with you.
Yeah.
And then you're up. Yeah, that's
So
for
friendly.
Me, for me, it's just, that's an experience in itself.
yeah, it
it's
is.
like having a private plane.
Do you know what? I bet everyone that's watching this would have said, oh, they'll say Grand Cayman. They'll say, oh, it's Grand Cayman. I mean, but I do agree with Blake. And even Cayman Brac, when you land in Cayman Brac, how the people are when you get off that little airport.
It's more of a normal airport experience, though, isn't it, Cayman Brac?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's smaller and friendlier and quicker.
Yeah.
But it's still, there's the luggage belt. You
Yeah, they
go
screen
through
the
a bit of
bags
security,
and you've got to,
Yeah, it is. It is. And that's because Cayman Brac's an international airport, remember. They do have
Whoa!
flights from Miami.
And we would have never known if it wasn't for you.
Thank you very much. Again, saying that I've been there more than anyone.
But
So-
they are so nice in Cayman Brac as soon as you land. Hi, how are you? How's your day been?
Yeah.
Getting your luggage off, people are helping you. They're opening the door.
And it's always a mix of locals and tourists arriving
You know
at
what?
the
We're
same
talking
time.
now. I don't think we're going to have one of them.
No, I still think mine's going to be Little Cayman, but we'll see. Let's keep going
Okay.
about Brac.
So-
But even when we land with, I know when we've landed with Johnny McLean or Tracy, they all know everyone.
Everybody
they all know
knows
each other,
everybody,
yeah.
Well, our director, Johnny McLean's actual brother, he flies the plane, doesn't he?
Is it brother or nephew?
No,
Or
I think
both?
it's his
No, I
brother.
think it's his brother.
His brother.
His brother flies the Cayman Airways.
I think it could be and nephew, but I'm not sure.
Is it?
I think his nephew flew us to Little Cayman one time.
Yeah, he's got a lot of family though, Johnny.
Yeah,
Actually,
lot of
actually, I
family.
think
So-
he does have a family.
Yeah. And I
Johnny,
think I've
Johnny
seen
will
it-
tell us.
So
think
what's
it's-
yours? Is yours Brac?
I'm going to go for Brac, Little Cayman. And
No.
And Grand Cayman.
I mean, since
I'm going to
Grand
go,
Cayman
I tell you what, I'm
did
going to go
have-
for my favourite to land for the experience. The first time I went is got to be, I agree, Little Cayman.
Yeah, because I've never
Little
had
Cayman.
anything like that before.
No,
Like-
but do you know what? I always say it's like when you're landing, it's like you see the little island and it's like,
Yeah, it just sort of
Paradise.
appears, doesn't it, when you're looking
Yeah.
out? Because you basically sat in the cockpit of the plane.
Yeah.
And then you're looking out the window and the island just appears, but you're not looking out your side window, you're looking
You're
out of the
looking out like the
front
win-
of
the
pilot's
windscreen of the
window,
thing, yeah.
yeah, no, I'm going to go with you, Blake, on
Yeah,
this one.
It's
But
brilliant.
since Grand Cayman had its big renovation, that's still a lovely airport and still really convenient. I mean, I was really late to the airport when I flew home, I think last year, and through straight away.
Well, one time I was actually late and I was right at the other end of the island. And for some reason, I forgot what time my flight was. And we had about, I'd say, 1 hour. But we was at the other end of the island. And Blake, in his fantastic driving skills, he got me there in about 30 minutes. That was from near Run Point.
There was no traffic, and we were keeping everything as it should be, legal.
Yeah, oh yeah, we were.
To the
We were
speed
legal.
limit.
To the speed limit.
To the speed limit.
But you got to the airport, and it was literally cutting it fine. But they're that friendly. They were like, look, okay,
I think
we
you know
understand.
what?
And he just took him straight through. And he phoned me, and he was
100%.
like, I'm just getting on the plane.
I
I
think
hadn't
it was
even pulled
about-
out the car park, and he was getting on the plane.
That's actually what I did last time when I was late. Guess whose family member was sat waiting to board the same flight?
Who?
Plane?
Johnny.
Johnny's mum, Johnny's sister, and Johnny's niece.
I told you, Johnny McLean's got a lot of family in the Cayman Islands.
Because
That's
it
our
was actually,
director.
I believe that I spoke to Johnny about it, that his niece, who we've featured on our website a few times, who's a swimmer, was flying back to school. So her mum and her grandma were going with her.
Do you know what? We've gone right off track here. We're talking
I know.
about Johnny's
Well,
family
I
now.
think this one is unanimous decision, right?
Little
Yeah,
Cayman.
unanimous.
Little Cayman,
Little
without a
Cayman?
doubt.
Little Cayman.
Ellie wanted a button, then she wanted
Everyone
to...
agrees with me because I've been there more than anyone.
Okay, so we've arrived in the Cayman Islands. We've been through all 3 airports. Don't know for what reason in our arrival.
I actually did that in one day.
That
my
does
last
happen.
visit.
That
But
does happen with
we've
us.
been to every airport, and now we're moving on to accommodation. Where we're staying? Are we hotel? Are we Airbnb? Are we staying with a friend?
Airbnb. That's easy for me.
I'm surprised.
You would not pick an Airbnb.
You would have never... I am surprised. He's Caribbean Club.
No, I tell you
Through
what,
and
Caribbean.
through.
No,
There we
Caribbean
go.
Club is Airbnb, isn't it?
Not really.
Is it not?
No.
Them
It's
apartments,
it's
aren't
a
you?
service.
It's serviced accommodation.
Well, serviced accommodation then. Yeah, it's got to be
An Airbnb with
serviced
staff.
accommodation.
Yeah.
Right. So what we're going to go with?
To unpack my suitcase, clean after me,
With restaurants,
unpack my laundry,
bars,
and
do my
shopping.
ironing. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely got to be the Caribbean Club. I put my case down once, and I promise you this: I went and walked on the beach,
Oh, not
and I
to
come
forget
back, and
walking on the
miraculously, my case was empty.
That's incredible, isn't
My
it?
clothes had been ironed and put on the hangers, and I still to this day
It was a
do not know
miracle
how
that he
happened.
called down and said, "Can someone please unpack my suitcase?" And then they did that.
Ellie, I've done it before, where I've actually left a dish at night, woke up in the morning, and it had been cleaned and gone.
Probably by me.
Yeah. It's probably like being... Is that not like being at home?
Yeah, forget Airbnb. It's got to be a service to podcast. Right, so we're talking then. Where are we going to go with Ellie?
When Blake.
Are you still thinking?
Do you know what? It depends what island you go
Well,
to,
that's
though.
what I was going to say, because when we visited our locations on Little Cayman, Salt Spray and Own Horizon, there was a beautiful house next door to Salt Spray.
That's right.
So we were
Johnny's sister's house?
Johnny's sister's house.
Do you know what? They're not going to believe this. His family's everywhere.
The same one I was stalking in the airport. But we were stood looking at our
His
locations.
brother's the pilot. They've got Airbnb.
And Johnny knew the family that were renting the house off his sister. So we were invited in.
I think they were family too.
I think it was some sort of friend or family. But that was incredible, wasn't it? They were cooking the lobsters that
It
they
was
caught.
stunning. And do you know what? That one is near Own Oceanfront location.
I don't think
Hori-
it's called Oceanfront.
Own Horizons.
Horizon.
Own Horizons, yeah. And that one there is, we went there and they were fishing at the front. And they had a beer at the front and they were just relaxing and they'd rented it. That's what a lot of people do though, isn't it? Airbnb from Grand Cayman to
Yeah.
Little Cayman.
Yeah.
I've never actually stayed in Little Cayman, and Anwar can't remember if he's ever stayed there before. But
Why would you say that? Like,
can you remember?
I did say at Little Cayman.
Where?
At the same place he did.
Where'd you stay, Blake?
Well, he has been more times than us.
Thank you.
You know, Paradise Villas, right next to Blossom Village. And I tell you, it's beautiful. You've got all your little conveniences there in that little village area. You're right on the beach. So you're waking up to like sunrise across the ocean. Those were, but I'll say, I mean, that isn't my favorite.
Ooh.
My favorite recently actually changed
Really?
because it would have always been, I mean, we stay at a lot of accommodation on Grand Cayman, but do you remember the interview I did with the
Yeah.
lady on Brac?
Yeah.
And she converted a unit into
Did you
4
stay
separate
there as
units.
well?
I didn't stay there, but we're there for the entire day. But she was talking us through how she accommodates guest experiences, and they light fires on the beach of a night, and they catch the fish and they cook the fish. And if you literally come out of a property,
Featherstone.
Featherstone it is, yeah. And if you literally come out of a property and go down, there's some gorgeous, untouched, unspoiled beaches there. And it makes it feel, just being there and doing the interview without staying there and sleeping there, but listening to everything, it made it feel like this is your home from home, as opposed to staying in a hotel.
Yeah.
And she lists them on Airbnb and VRBO, and she does pretty good from it as well. She retired on the basis of a rental, but that home from home feel was great. Whereas
How come we've never stayed there?
she's invited us. She's invited us.
Oh, we'll have
next
to
time
do
we're
that
on Brac.
next time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say that, and plus we've had some colleagues stay in some Airbnbs on Grand Cayman recently, and I think the Airbnb market's given people more of a, this is my home from home type of
Yeah.
feel.
Well, I was
Definitely.
even looking at the cottages that Limboddon, who we know owns
Oh, yeah.
in the
East
East
End.
End. And
We
I was,
went there, didn't we?
They're really nice.
Yeah, well, I was
Lovely.
going to say, I was looking at her Instagram and people getting married there, and then
Yeah.
all the guests staying
Yeah,
within
yeah.
the cottages.
Well, she had some famous TV program from the US. I can't remember.
It was
which
a reality
one it
TV
A
show
reality
that she had-
TV.
Whoa.
Yeah, and then we're
She
all
hosted
there.
it there,
We've
yeah.
got to find that. We'll find that for the next podcast. What reality
you gonna
TV
do, watch
show
it?
was. No, we'll find out which reality.
But
TV show.
I'm starting to see there's a balance now. But
think
some
it was
people are going there and
Kardashians.
they're staying in the nice hotels, and some people are going there and they want the home away from home life from Airbnb and things like that.
And I think even looking at the sister islands, a lot of the hotels there, not all of them, but are set up for if you wanted to go out and dive every day.
Yeah,
So like we've stayed at the
Alexander
but the Brac
Brack.
Beach Resort, or is it
Reef
Resort?
Resort.
Really nice.
Everyone that was staying there, other than us,
Going
was
on
there to dive.
excursions,
So like when
yeah.
we got up in the morning for breakfast and we were getting ready to go and look at the lots and photograph things. They're all sat with the
Scuba gear
scuba
on.
gear
getting
on.
ready
And
to
we,
go.
we
Yeah,
sort of
yeah.
weird at breakfast.
But do you know what? I know, we've had a lot of clients that have gone over since they've purchased and gone over. And, if they're going to decide to build, they want to get, speak to the builder. But every time they go, what I'm getting to is every time they go, and a lot of our clients do stay at Airbnb. And I noticed that a lot of our clients have gone back to the same Airbnb as well.
I think
they get
that's-
to know the local people.
That's
the
what I was
people
about to say. Yeah, the people that own or manage
Yeah.
or rent the properties, everywhere we've experienced when I've been booking for either people from Oasis flying out to visit, are so nice and communicate with you in a way that I've never experienced before. They're calling, "How's it going, Ellie? Is everything all right? Do you need
100%.
anything? Do you need to
It's true that.
clean up?" Or
Yeah, it's
you don't
true.
really get that in other places. You may get an automated message to say you've booked.
No, it's true. I travel a lot
This
with
is
my
the
partner.
code.
I travel a lot with my partner. We stay in Airbnbs in different countries, and you never meet the host.
No.
The keys are in a lockbox or something like this. But it's 100%. I agree
Yeah.
with you because they're normally there. They meet, they greet you.
Yeah.
Can I help you with anything? We're always on hand. Let me give you some tips on what you can do while you're here. And I think that is like an added.
Do you know what?
experience,
That's actually a really good point, Blake. And
Yeah.
I'll tell you why. Because I've stayed, when I travel with my wife and we go to Europe.
Is this like a competition where you two are traveling with your
No,
partners?
It is a
but
battle.
what I'm
My
saying-
wife.
It is a battle.
But what I'm saying is right. Sometimes you go to Airbnb
Well, I
and you
travel
find
with
the
my
key.
partner as well.
Yeah, anyway.
Oh, she's entered the battle.
Anyway, so you find the key in a little lock and you do the numbers, you never see anyone.
No.
But it's so true that in Cayman Islands, I've never realised that till now, you've said it.
Because you don't book anything.
No, I know the office always do my bookings, but the point, why are you doing So if you've enjoyed listening to us today about the topics we've talked about, please do contact us, and you can contact us on oasis-land.com or customer care at oasis-land.com.
Right, so mine's Cayman Brac.
You're saying a Featherstone.
Beautiful.
At Featherstone on Brac, yeah.
Okay, mine's got to be Grand Cayman. Grand Cayman, yeah, Caribbean Club.
I think mine's Grand Cayman as well.
Wait,
But mainly
which
because...
location? Caribbean. Is it Caribbean?
It's a Caribbean club. But mainly because, I'm not adventuring. I'm not
She's a
scuba
princess.
diving.
She's a queen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's right, isn't it? She likes
Yeah.
to just wake up in the
Service to
morning.
the beach
She wants
bed.
she wants
Yeah.
the robe hung out. She wants to be
Bring it up
escorted
for
to the
breakfast.
bed.
Yes, can I
Pina
have two
colada
fried
put into her
eggs?
hand.
Some sushi on the beach.
Someone with a big palm leaf like this,
Yeah.
fanning her down.
At least she's honest.
But I would like to try the Rum Point Club, which is the same as the Caribbean Club, but in Rum Point.
And it's all been done there. I bet you it's
beautiful
nice
up
there.
there.
Yeah.
I bet you it's really nice
Yeah,
there.
that's just been all renovated.
It's new, yeah.
Yeah.
So, where we all set? Well, it's
Grand
Grand
Cayman.
Cayman. I was going to bang the table again, but that'll
I
take
lost that
5
one.
minutes.
We're now going to go to the beach. What are we looking at?
Are we talking?
We're talking our favourite beach.
Well,
This is a tough one.
this is a tough one.
There's a lot of nice beaches.
There's a lot of beaches, and I also think it depends what you're after that day, because some are just amazing, untouched beaches.
Okay, this is
Definitely
a simple
depends
one
on your
then.
mood.
First of
Definitely
all,
depends
I
what
go
your
to the
mood is.
airport. I get a flight directly to Little Cayman, Point of Sands, one of the most beautiful golden sand beaches I have ever been to. Crystal clear. That's my winner.
It is nice, Point of Sands.
Right, so you've flown to Little Cayman.
Yeah, so I would get on a plane and I would directly fly to Little Cayman, Point of Sands. One of the most beautiful golden sand beaches.
That's unspoiled.
I have
Completely
ever been
unspoiled,
to.
yeah.
Really?
And I think it's voted one of the nicest beaches.
Yeah, I think it's got some.
Yeah.
Point of Sands, Little
Accolades.
Cayman.
It's completely unspoiled there. It's nice.
Yeah.
Nice. And a lot
Ellie?
bigger than what people think.
Sorry, Blake.
A lot bigger than what people think.
Very much.
Yeah.
I think it depends what I'm after because.
Depends if she wants to be a princess on this day or if she wants to
She
go.
wants to be served while she's on the beach.
Well,
Yeah.
I think all the ones I'm going to go for are served. So, Rum Point is a great beach because it's shallow. You can just sit
There's a
in the water.
Big food court there. They deliver food to you straight away every day.
Food court,
Yeah.
a restaurant.
A restaurant.
A restaurant. Yeah, restaurant.
But yeah,
So-
it's serviced. It's a serviced beach.
Right.
But you can
So,
walk a bit further down and enjoy the beach without going to the Rum Point Club.
yeah, you would never go there. So,
I might not.
I can walk further down so I'm away from everything and I've got to serve food or anything, but
And I've got to walk all the
I'll
way
never
back.
do that. That's just never going to happen.
So I'm probably going to go to Rum Point Beach
Where you
or
get served food and
7 Mile.
cocktails. And
But I also enjoy when I'm not being served. I do
when
like
she's full and she doesn't need food.
on North Side in Brac. It's not a sandy beach. It's more of a boat dock. I liked that all the locals were sat around the area watching the boats come in,
And watching them go out again.
watching them go out again. No, but it was sort of nice just to be by the water. Sometimes you don't want to get sand in your toes. What are you laughing at? That's what I think.
So Ellie's is the boat dock on.
It's a lovely boat dock.
It is a lovely boat.
Everyone
All
sits-
the luxury
everyone-
beaches.
Everyone sits there and
All the
watches
luxury
the
beaches in the Cayman Islands. And he goes, well, I'd like to be on a boat dock.
I know a lot of people that don't like beaches or sand.
I can sit there and watch the boats come in and then watch them go out again. Right, so Ellie's is a boat dock. Blake.
Mine is, I mean, look, I've got loads and it is difficult to narrow it down. But based on my own experience,
Well, no, currently you can't give your own experience because Anwar thinks it's weird.
Yeah, it is a bit.
that's what this is about. It's our battle.
Yeah,
Right, just
I know.
give it-
This
Right,
is our
so of
battle.
all the beaches,
so
what's
based
your
on
best
my
beach?
experience,
Yeah.
I had the absolute best time with my daughter at Smith's Cove on Grand Cayman. You know the one opposite the big grand house?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Near
the
If you
beach.
forgot the name again.
South Sound. The South Sound.
Yeah.
And they've got the rocks and people jump off the rocks into the
Yeah.
ocean. And my daughter, she was a little at this age, she was a little bit nervous about getting in the sea. She used to just sort of like paddle her feet and things like that. And we both just fell in love with the time we were having there. And she ended up jumping off the rocks with me on the beach. And I swear we were there for the whole afternoon, just, Daddy, let's do it again. Let's do it again. So I enjoyed it just for that. And then just before we were getting ready to leave, somebody started to have a wedding on the beach. They come on with the saxophones.
Beautiful.
I'd have loved that.
They came on with all, everyone was dressed nice and they had the bongo players. And I thought, what a place this is.
Yeah.
You know, and
Saxophone
it's,
and bong.
yeah,
So-
on a beach.
So, Blake, where's your best beach?
Smith's Cove.
Thank you. That's all we-
Barricade, isn't it?
I think is it Barricade or
Oh,
Cove?
no.
No, it's Cove. Smith's
Right.
Cove.
Okay.
Smith's Cove. Is there such a place as his beach?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's my
Collier's is
favourite.
Also
So we're all
nice in
different
East
then.
End.
Yeah,
You've
Collier,
got
yeah.
I'm going
wherever,
Grand Cayman.
wherever there's a restaurant.
Excuse me, no, a serviced
and
beach.
waiters.
Yeah, a serviced beach island.
Right, where
Air
there's a service
conditioned.
beach or a dock. Right, so we've got Ellie on the docks. Blake's going to a beach, can't even remember the name.
You can't just be doing these tactics to try and win.
Yeah.
So it's
and
got
then,
to
he
be.
forgets his own. He goes,
Yeah.
on
It's
mad.
got to be Point of Sands, Little
No,
Cayman.
it can't, because we're
Well
both
done.
Grand Cayman.
Yeah, so you've lost Grand Cayman
No, you
wins.
can only pick one beach. You can't both gang up on me.
Impossible. How many beaches is there? Grand Cayman wins on that one.
Yeah.
Moving on, Phoenix.
Unless I want
Right.
a boat dock.
Grand Cayman. Oh, the boat dock in Cayman Brac. Right, so we're going with Grand Cayman.
Okay, so we're ending our day. We've landed in the Cayman Islands.
Mm-hmm.
We've picked our accommodation.
Mm-hmm.
We've spent the day on the beach. And
Go,
it's now
girl.
Anwar's favourite part of his day.
Oh, there's food. It's
We're
got to be
eating.
food.
Is it?
We're going somewhere to eat.
Okay.
Where are we going? Where wins?
Right.
Everywhere.
Sit this one out. I'll sit this one out. This is just Anwar's, this one.
Okay, no, I tell you what, it's got to be, we've all got to agree on this one. We've all got to agree. The food in the Cayman Islands is spectacular wherever you go.
Wherever you
Yeah,
go.
Wherever you
undoubtedly.
go.
Especially the seafood.
So this
It
is
is.
fully going to be our experiences because
But do you know what?
We've never had a bad
I
meal.
will tell you, we've been to some beautiful restaurants, and they are beautiful restaurants. But do you know what? I like the local food as well. I love the local food where you can drive down and you can stop on, in Georgetown or in Cayman Brac, the ones we stop, Ellie, or Hungry Iguana in Little Cayman. Beautiful restaurant there. But it's all fresh fish and fresh fruit every day.
Fresh
So
fruit.
do you know what? I've got to start this one because
You're not going
to
to give a special one.
I can't because I've ate everywhere and I've loved the food everywhere. And also, every restaurant I've gone to, I've always said, this is one of the best I've eaten. No, I'm not going to do
He
that.
says that everywhere.
Exactly, because I'll be going back to all of them. And no doubt all the restaurateurs will be watching this podcast. And I certainly don't want to fall out with any of them.
I will. So,
I will. Cheers, Ellie.
So on Brac, last time we went, we all were trying different foods, weren't we? And taking pictures of the food and trying all the different meals. And we went to Coral Isle.
Yeah.
It was on the front overlooking the sea.
Oh, across from the Alexander.
And we saw the sunset.
Yeah.
And we ordered, it was just a specials board of just everything that was fresh
And the
that
table
day.
just come out full.
And we just ordered, I think, one of everything, and the table came out full.
Yeah.
And I think there's footage of, because we were hungry, when the food arrived, us all just digging in and fighting over the food and putting our forks in.
Someone went to the bathroom, washed their hands, come back
Yeah,
and it
it was
all gone.
Like
Me sat there
piranhas.
saying, where's all the food?
But that was delicious and fresh and local and yum. And I also like that on Grand Cayman, the Eastern Star Bar, I think it's called the Fish Fry at the Eastern Star Bar, on East End with the I Heart East End sign.
That's
yeah.
right.
Oh, that is so good. I think about that all the time.
And that's just like a local one.
It's similar to Coral Isle, sort of, isn't it? That it's just local food on a specials board. There's no menu that comes out because I'm assuming it changes depending on what they've caught that day or the day before.
That's right.
And the food, honestly, I think about it all the time.
That's what I say. You can't pick. I can't pick one. I love
It is
food.
a tough one, yeah. And I think the local food's incredible. And a lot of people actually ask about the food and things like that. And it's some of the healthiest, freshest, nicest food.
But I think Blake's going to go fancy and he's not going to go for a local
Yeah, it
one.
has to be Blake doing that.
See, I do like all the local ones, but
Well, here we go.
and I agree with you both. The food right across the board is amazing. Across all three islands, the food's amazing.
I like the Ritz-Carlton.
But I do like it. No, I've enjoyed a lot of time sitting down at Tilly's
Oh!
on Grand Cayman.
I
You know,
like
whether you're going down there for
Yeah.
breakfast or brunch
Yeah.
or, for an evening meal it's a nice atmosphere, sat on the beach. It's quiet. It's peaceful. They've got it all decorated
Yeah,
nice.
it's one of the most beautiful restaurants I've ever been to anywhere in the world.
It's a really, really nice
It is
space.
nice.
Amazing,
It
with
is
all
really
the palm
nice.
trees and the lights hanging.
I got up one morning and did a big walk down 7 Mile, and I didn't realise they did breakfast, but I saw people sat on
yeah.
the beach part, and I thought I'll stop. And I had the nicest breakfast, read a book on my phone, or part of a book on my phone, and it was just bliss. It was
of course you
peaceful.
did, Blake.
Okay.
It was peaceful.
Yeah, let's not go too far, Blake. You had breakfast and you walked back.
Well, in fairness, I've only ever sat on the terrace underneath the lights, but last time I went with some friends and we sat on the sand.
Yeah.
So shoes off, feet on the sand. It was brilliant.
Yeah,
I've
it's
never
nice.
done that.
Yeah, it was
Tilly's.
great. Yeah.
Okay.
It was still within part of the restaurant, but we
Yeah.
just managed to get a table on the sand. And it was great.
So I think we all agree then. It's wherever you go, it's amazing food.
Yeah, my
I don't
vote's-
think there's a winner.
Okay, we've actually run over our scheduled time. So there is going to be a part 2 where we're going to get more questions and we're going to find out which locations we prefer or which locations we
battle
highly recommend.
continues.
There's too much to talk about on
Yeah, we
this
got
one.
way too
We didn't
excited.
expect it to go
Our
that
viewers
long.
need to prepare themselves for 18 years worth of experience.
Yeah,
This could end up
definitely.
in part 2, 3,
Yeah.
4.
What we're going to do now is just have a quick fire question. Some questions I'm going to ask and just give you a quick, honest answer.
That's a good way to end.
Are we ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So the first question will be best island for luxury.
Grand Cayman.
Easy.
Yeah, you got. I'll go with that
Yeah.
one as well. Okay. Best island for diving.
Little Cayman.
I'm scared of diving, so I'll agree with
Little Cayman
Little
or Cayman Brac. Yeah, we both agree on that.
It was like a song, that.
What?
It was like the song on the plane.
No, Little Cayman or Cayman
the
Brac. I'll go with that because they're both
Cayman
beautiful for
Islands.
diving. Okay, next one. Best island for adventure.
Brac. Rock climbing.
Agree.
Cave.
Agree.
exploring, bird watching, diving,
deep sea fishing,
snorkeling.
hiking.
Yeah.
Well
Brac.
done, Ellie.
Abseiling.
Thank you.
Well done, no, Green
Brac.
Valley there. And that we know why, because that brings big tourism there as well, and to Little Cayman. Big tourism. Okay, next one. Best island for relaxing. Ellie goes to you.
Well, you can relax wherever you want. However,
It's where you feel more like a
Yeah,
queen.
where there's a restaurant.
Yeah.
for my serviced beach.
A service beach. Yeah, forget that.
And-
I
and
know
the-
that. Blake,
and the
Well, no, because I
Spas.
believe the Leslie door is very
Yeah.
relaxing in Cayman
Yes.
Brac.
Oh, she's throwing a curveball in there now.
did.
I'm
Go on.
going Grand Cayman.
Oh, she couldn't help us. Couldn't help us.
That was a curveball. It just comes straight back at us. Okay. Blake, best. Oh no, I'll get this
No,
one.
it's for everyone. You can't.
Best island. Okay, I'm going to answer this one. I'm going to ask it and answer it. Best island for food. All 3 islands. That's the answer. All
Any
3
more?
islands,
Any
best
more
location for
questions?
food. Blake, do you agree with that?
I agree.
Ellie?
Yeah.
Yep. Perfect. Yeah, we're coming to the end. Best island for nature. Blake?
It's Little Cayman or Brac.
Yeah.
Both.
I'd actually go with Blake on that one as well.
Both.
Yeah, for nature. If you
I'd
love
go
nature.
Brac just because it's bigger. So
There's more
there'd be
nature.
more nature.
Oh, worked out, Ellie.
But there's also different terrains in Brac.
I suppose you're getting different animals and wildlife to
I'd
Brac that you
imagine.
maybe necessarily
I
don't
mean,
get
a
to
lot of
Little Cayman.
iguanas. in
I think
Little
as well for the
Yeah.
back caves in, Cayman Brac as well.
Yeah.
But also the rock climbing.
Booby
and-
birds.
Yeah.
Bird watchers enjoy
canoe.
that.
Parrots.
Yeah.
Diving.
Parrot reserve.
We're talking
Canoeing.
about
We're talking about
nature.
animals.
Snorkeling, nature. That's where I'm going with this. Right, so, the
he
next
means
question.
he means the reefs.
Best islands for couples, Blake.
Uh,
Romantic.
That's a hard one as well, I think. Grand Cayman.
Really?
Grand Cayman.
You want privacy?
Do you know what? I'm
Yeah,
going with you, Ellie.
If you want privacy and think, I don't know, why is it specifically privacy for couples?
No, I'm going with
Why
Ellie
can
on
it
that.
not
If
be
you're thinking
enjoying
Little
all the
Cayman, we're on the
services?
same page.
I'm thinking Little Cayman.
Yeah, I'm on the same page.
Well,
For
it
a
depends how
couple
old you are. If you're Anwar's age, probably Little Cayman.
Right, next question. So, that's the end of the quick fire question. Well done, Blake and Ellie.
Well done, Anwar.
So, the next part we'll be doing very soon. We've gone on to part 2. And,
Which we've just decided we're going to do today because there's still too much to
Yeah.
talk about.
Yeah, there's been so much to talk about. We didn't think it'd go this long, did we?
We've got about 7 questions written down. I think we've only got through 3.
These will end up
Yeah.
being like Die Hard sequels.
But do you know what it is, though? Everything we've actually said, it shows there's a mixture of everything in there for
It
every
shows we're so
island.
passionate.
I was
Yeah.
thinking the same thing. We've got a lot of passion to Cayman.
Yeah.
Every single time. It never, ever gets boring, no
No.
matter how many times you're there, how many times you visit. Even if you go into the same places, it just never gets boring.
100%. 100%. So, thank you. Thank you, Ellie.
Thank you, Anwar.
And thank you, Phoenix. Until next time.
So if you've liked some of the places we've spoken about today and want to find out more, visit our website, oasis-land.com, or you can email us at customercare@oasis-land.com. And please make sure you follow us on our social media accounts, share and like.